Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a workout for you that will be focused on lower body and unilateral work. So we're gonna work the right side separately, the left side separately, so we can work them evenly. So again, unilateral lower body workout. We're gonna start with your foot bars up at the starting position. Your headrest can be up or down to begin. And then we're gonna start with single legs for your footwork. I'm gonna go a little lighter today for my legs just because we're going to go hard on legs, so I don't want to start too challenging for myself. I'm gonna go 2 heavies and 1 medium spring. I'm gonna consider that more like the lighter setting. If you want to go heavier, 3 heavy springs would be like a medium setting, and then 3 heavies and a light I would consider it would be a heavier setting than that. You can always go lighter, you can go heavier. I'm going on the light side today with 2 heavies and 1 medium spring, which is 2 reds, 1 blue on my balanced body reformer. And then we're gonna go ahead and lie down. Balls for props today, so go ahead. You guys can grab a ball. If you don't have one, you technically do not need one today, but if you have one, you can use it for underneath your heads eventually. So let's go ahead. We're gonna start with our heels on the foot bar. They're gonna be parallel with each other, sits bone distance away. So they're about that fist distance away from each other. Neutral spine, so we should have that nice natural curvature of our low backs. And then again, heads can be up or down, that is up to you. The right heel is gonna stay on the foot bar to start. Left knee is gonna go up into a tabletop position, just a very simple footwork series day. We're exhaling to push the carriage out with our right heel. We're inhaling to bend to come back in. Again, we exhale to push away. We inhale to bend to come back in. Again, exhale out. Inhale back. I'm keeping my sacrum heavy. My pelvis is just staying nice and still the entire time. And then feeling that whole leg working as we push out. And then again, we're just resisting the springs to come all the way back in. Exhale, push. Inhale as we come back in. Let's just go for 1 more here with our right heel. And then when we come back in, we're gonna pause. The left heel goes onto the foot bar. Our right knee is gonna go up into a tabletop position. Again, we'll exhale to push the carriages all the way out. And then we'll inhale, bend to come back in. Exhaling away, and then inhaling as we resist to bring our carriages all the way back in. Still thinking sacrum heavy, pelvis just stays nice and still. Exhale to push. Inhale, again, resisting the springs to come all the way back in, feeling it all over the leg and glute. Let's go for 2, and then last 1. Then once we come back in, we're gonna pause. The arches of our feet are gonna go into the foot bar. The right arch stays on. Left knee goes up into a tabletop position. Again, we're exhaling away, inhaling back. Think of this just like a nice little warm up for your legs to start today. You can change your springs if you feel like they're too heavy or too light at any point. Exhale to push, inhale back. And then I want to think that my bra line is staying heavy down into the carriage, so I'm not arcing into my thoracic spine there. So bra lines are heavy, ribs are heavy. We have 2 more on the right arch. And then last one, exhale out and inhale back. We're gonna go left arch of our foot onto the foot bar. Right knee goes up into a tabletop position. Again, we're exhaling away and we're inhaling back. Push. And then resisting again the springs as we come back in. Exhale, push, inhale, resist to come all the way back in. Three more on that left arch. And then last one. Then once we come back in, again, we're just gonna switch right onto those toes, balls of our feet. All 10 toes should be on the foot bar. Right toe stay on, left knee goes up into that tabletop position. We're evenly weighted throughout all 5 toes. We exhale to push out with the right. We inhale to come back in. I do a little lift of my heel while I'm here, just to get into my quads a little more, pushing out or quad, inhaling as we bend to come back in. And then as always, just being mindful with my heel lifted when I bend to come back in, I'm not collapsing into my low back. Let's do 3. And then last one. Then the left toes, balls of our feet can go on. Right knees up into that tabletop position. Again, exhale to push. Inhale, resist back in. Exhale out, and then inhale as we bend, and again, we come back in. Evenly weighted throughout all 5 of those toes, so working, we don't have any pronation or supination of those feet where we roll in and out. Our pelvis is staying still. I'm keeping that little lift in my heel to get into my left quad a little more. 3 more. And then last one. All right, now once we come back in, we're gonna pause, and if your headrests are up, they're gonna go all the way down. We're gonna go back onto our heels. They're gonna be parallel with each other again, just about that fist distance away, so about sits bone distance away from each other. Arms are nice and long at our sides. Unilateral bridges. Right foot stays on the foot bar, left knee goes up into a tabletop position. If you cramp up too much in your hamstrings, you can take the foot underneath the foot bar on the wooden platform rather than having it on the foot bar. We're gonna take an inhale here in our neutral spines. On an exhale, let's flatten our low backs down into the mat. We're gonna push into our right heel, and we're gonna roll our spines up 1 vertebrae at a time. I'm sending my tailbone to the backs of my knees. I have a nice long line from my knee to my hip to my shoulder. Taking an inhale here, and then on an exhale, we're slowly rolling our spines all the way back down into the mat. We're gonna inhale in our neutral again. Exhale, we flatten the low backs down. We push into that right heel. We roll our spines up. We take an inhale at the top. And then on that exhale, we articulate again our spines all the way back down into the mat. Inhale at the bottom. We have 2 more. Exhale, flatten and peel our spines up. Use that glute hamstring. Take an inhale. Again, think evenly weighted throughout the right and left side of the body as we roll the spines back down. And then this is the last one. Exhale, roll up. Now this time we hold ourselves up into our bridge. We extend the left leg up to the ceiling. We're gonna inhale, lower the left leg down without our pelvis shifting. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Again, the pelvis does not move. We inhale to lower. We exhale to lift back up. Let's just go for 2 more. And then last one. Pause at the top. Roll our spine all the way back down into the mat. And then we can bend our left knee, set the heel down, bring the right knee up into our tabletop position. Take an inhale here. Again, on our exhale, we're gonna flatten the low back down, roll our spines up 1 vertebrae at a time, take an inhale at the top, exhale, we roll, again, our spines all the way back down. Again, if you cramp too much in your hamstrings, take your foot underneath the foot bar on the wooden platform. We flatten and peel, we roll up 1 vertebrae at a time, take an inhale, line from the shoulder to the knee, roll our spines all the way back down into the mats. We have 2 more. Again, exhale as we articulate our spines back down. Inhaling again in our neutral. And then last one, we exhale, we flatten and peel. We pause at the top. We reach the right leg straight up to the ceiling. On an inhale, I'm gonna lower the leg straight down. Exhale, lift back up. I wanna think as I lower and I lift, my pelvis does not shift. So it stays nice and still as if there's a board right underneath my butt helping to stabilize me. Really feel that left side working for stability. Lower, lift, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Then once we come up, pause, roll our spines all the way back down into the mat. Pause at the bottom, and then if you need to stretch out those hamstrings, give them a nice little stretch. Now, we're gonna sit ourselves off to the sides of our reformers. When we sit ourselves off to the sides, we're gonna go onto 1 heavy and 1 light spring. So 1 heavy, 1 light. I'm gonna grab my ball. It's gonna go into my headrest. Again, if you don't have them, you don't have to use them. You can always just use your hand to support your head. And then we're gonna lie on our right side to start. Now, when we get onto our right side, I'm gonna grab my strap that's right out in front of me. It's gonna go onto the top of my left foot. Now, if this heavy light spring is too heavy, just go down to 1 heavy spring instead of having that extra light one on today. We're gonna put, again, the strap on the arch of our left foot. Our hips should be stacked, shoulders are stacked, and then the top leg is just gonna lift hip distance up off of our bottom. Knee should be right in line with the hip. The foot should be parallel to the floor. On an exhale, we're gonna press our top leg out and slightly back. And then we're gonna bend back in at that 90. Exhale, press, little kick back. Inhale, bend. The leg should stay parallel to the floor the entire time. And every time I press my leg back, I'm squeezing my glute so that I can get right into my glute max. Exhale, press, little kick. Inhale, return. We're just gonna go for 2. All right, now in this last one, we're gonna hold our leg out away from us. It's in line with the body. We point our toes, knees up to the ceiling, bend in now in our external rotation, and then we exhale to press. So we keep the toes, knees up to the ceiling. When we're in this external rotation, the hips should be staying stacked right on top of each other. Inhale, bend, and exhaling as we press back out, feeling that light spring, making it a little heavier for us today. We're gonna go for 2. And then last one. Now when we push out, we hold our leg out away from us. Internal rotation, so toes, knees point down to the floor. We bend in for our internal rotation, and we exhale to press out and slightly up and back. So again, I'm bending in, the knees should come together, the foot needs to stay higher than the knees. I'm pressing up and slightly back. Exhale, press, inhale back so we can get right into those glute min. So glute med, glute max, glute min, all get a nice little workout here. Exhale out, or for the series, inhale back. Let's go for 3, 2, and then last one. Okay, now once we come back, we're gonna pause. Take your balls out. Again, if you don't have them, that is fine. You're gonna carefully set your right foot down onto the platform, flip onto your backs. Now, if you can't get it gracefully, go ahead, you can always take that strap off of your foot. Technically, the right strap should be on your left foot. And now this will be an option if you want to put the ball underneath your sacrum to make this a little more challenging for your stability, you can. If you just want to ditch the ball until we do your other side for a sideline, you can. So ball or no ball, up to you. It just is a little more challenging for your stability. Arms can be at your sides. Knees are gonna go both up into a tabletop position. I have my knees fist distance away, so sits bones distance out. And then we're gonna go into single leg squat. So on the next one, I'm gonna push my left leg just straight out away from me, and I'm gonna inhale, bend back in. Exhale, press out. Inhale back. Again, I'm exhaling to push away, and I'm squeezing my glute as I do so. Inhale, bending to come all the way back in. Exhale to press out. Inhale back, and I'm going out and just slightly down with my leg so I can again get into that glute max just a little more. Exhale to push. Inhale back. Now if you're on the ball, think core is helping to stabilize you here. Let's do 2 more. Now on our last one, we're gonna hold our leg out away from us. We're gonna let it go straight up towards the ceiling, and we're gonna exhale, pull the leg down towards the spring. So we're gonna inhale, hinge up, and then we're gonna exhale and pull down. And we should be able to hold like a neutral-ish spine on the ball. So when the leg goes up, if you are on the ball, just make sure you're not going so high where you're starting to push your low back down into the ball. Try to hold that more neutral spine here. Exhaling as we pull down. Inhale, hinging to come back up. We want the back of the leg into the glute to fire. And I'm just trying to go straight down with my leg and straight up. 2 more. And then last one, exhale, lower. And then inhale, hinge. Now try to really control, if you're on the ball, try to control yourself on the ball. We're gonna finish with circles. I'm gonna pull my leg back down towards the springs. I'm gonna open it slightly out to the left side of the room to circle around and back up. My right butt needs to stay heavy on the ball. So I'm gonna go down, open it slightly out to the side to circle around and back up. If you wanna hold on to the shoulder blocks for a little extra stability, you can. The pelvis stays still. The movement comes right from the head of the femur in that hip socket. We go straight down. We open slightly out to the side to circle around and back up. Down, around and up. Let's go for 2 and 1. Now, once we come back up, we're gonna pause, reverse, be careful, we're opening it out, pressing down and around, hinging to come back up. Again, that right hip needs to stay heavy. The pelvis does not shift. These are probably not huge circles. Don't make them big circles. We go out, down, around, and hinge. It should be a little more challenging for your stability compared to the last side. Let's do 3, 2, and then last one. Then once we come back up, we'll find the foot bar. If you have the ball, lift your hips up and we're gonna take that ball out from underneath us. Now I'm gonna take the strap off of my foot, hang it back up onto the peg, and then we're gonna flip over to the other side. So we're lying on our left side this time. Again, if you don't have a ball, that's fine. You can use your hand to support your head. If you do, the ball can go back underneath your head. Hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked. Grab the strap that's right out in front of you. Long loop goes onto the arch of your right foot. And then both knees are going to be bent at a 90-degree angle. And I always hold on to my shoulder blocks here just for a little extra stability. The right leg lifts hip distance above the bottom. The foot and that knee should be parallel to the floor. We're going to exhale, press out and slightly back. And then we bend to come back in. Press, little kick back. Bend to come back in. We want to feel that whole leg, including the glute max, right where our butt connects to our leg. That's where that little kick back is going to activate our glute max a little more. Exhale, press, little kick. Inhale, bend. If the strap's hitting your face, ignore it or try to adjust. Exhale out. Inhale back. Let's go for 2 more. Then on this last one, we're gonna hold our leg out away from us. It's in line with the body, it's not kicked back. We rotate the toes, knees up to the ceiling without our hips unstacking. And then we bend in our external rotation and we exhale to push away. Inhale, bend, again, exhale, pushing out in that nice external rotation with the toes, knees pointing up to the ceiling. So we can get a little more into our glute med with this external. Inhale in and exhale to push. We have 2 more. And then last one. Now when we press out, we hold, we internally rotate. When we come in, the foot needs to stay higher than the knee. And then I'm gonna press up and slightly back. Again, when we bend, the foot stays higher than the knee. Press up and slightly back. Inhale, bend. Exhale as we press out, bend. And exhale to push that leg out, trying to get into those glute mids a little more in that internal rotation. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bend to come back in. I'm gonna set my left foot on the wooden platform just to help rotate me onto my back. Again, ball or no ball, that is up to you. Ball just makes this a little more challenging. Can go underneath our butts. Then we are going to right underneath our sacrums. You get, again, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. The right leg is up. We're in more of a neutral spine here with the ball. And then the left knee is up into our tabletop position. From there, both knees go up into a tabletop position, fist distance away, so about sits bones. And then we exhale to press the right leg out. We inhale to come back in. Exhale to push, inhale back. Every time I press my right leg out, I am squeezing my glute. Exhale to push away. Again, inhaling as I bend and I come back in, engaging that glute max. Push out and bend in again, squeeze the glutes. Try to keep your balance on that ball. Let's do 2. Then on this last one, we're gonna hold our leg out away from us. We inhale to hinge to come up, and then we're exhaling to pull the leg back down towards our springs. We inhale to hinge up, and then we exhale to pull down, and we're trying to, again, keep that straight leg as we go up and down. The strap doesn't pull our leg across the body. It stays right in line with that sits bones. I'm exhaling again to pull, inhaling to hinge, controlling my pelvis on the ball. Let's go ahead and do 3, 2, and then last one, exhale, lower, and inhale, hinge. Now I'm gonna lower my leg back down towards my springs. I'm gonna open it slightly out to side to circle around and back up. I exhale to pull straight down. I inhale, I open it slightly out to side to circle around and back up. My, again, left hip is staying heavy when I open and I circle my leg around and up. Exhale to pull down. Inhale, circle around and back up. Keeping that pelvis nice and still. Let's do 2 more. Again, hanging onto the shoulder blocks if you need a little extra stability. Now this next time we come up, let's pause at the top and we're gonna reverse. So we go out, we press down and around, and then we hinge, come back up. Out, press down and around, and hinge. Again, this direction is gonna be a little more challenging for our stability. We'll do 2 more. And then last one. Okay, now once we come back up, we're gonna pause. We'll set our left foot down. We're gonna lift our hips up. We'll take that ball out, and then we can just take that strap off our foot. We'll set the ball to the side, and then we're gonna hang the strap up onto the peg. We're gonna sit ourselves off to the sides of our reformers. Now, 1 heavy spring, 1 light spring is going to be more like a medium setting for our legs. 2 heavy springs will be more of a heavy setting. So up to you, you can go 1 heavy, 1 medium, or 2 heavy springs. I'm gonna go 1 heavy, 1 medium, and see how I feel. We're gonna kneel on our reformers, facing the straps. When we kneel, our shoulders should be right over our hands, our hips should be right over our knees, and then I'm gonna take my right heel onto the foot bar. The toe should be pointed down towards the floor. Hips and shoulders should be parallel to the floor. Neutral spine. If the wrists are an issue, you can always drop down onto your forearms rather than be on your palms. I'm going to exhale, push the carriage out with my right heel, squeeze my butt, and then we're gonna inhale, bend to come back in. Exhale out with the right heel, inhale back. Every time I push away, I am squeezing my glute, engaging my glute max. I'm actually gonna go a little heavier. I'm doing 2 heavies instead of a heavy and a medium. Keep going, exhale, push out with that right heel. Inhale, return, again, drop down onto your forearms if you need to get off of your wrists. Abs should be into your backs. And then as always, if there's a string on the crown of your head, it's pulling the crown of your head forward. Now, this next time we come in, we're gonna pause. The arch of our right foot goes onto the foot bar. We exhale to push out with our right arch. We inhale back. We exhale to push. We inhale back, just like footwork, but we're kneeling out and in. Again, shoulders, hips, parallel to the floor. Abs are in. I'm squeezing my butt every time I push the carriage out. Resist in. Let's go for 4 more on this right arch. And then last one. Okay, then once we come back in, we're gonna pause in. We go right toes, balls of our feet onto the foot bar. And I'm gonna do a little lift of my heel here. So it's almost like I'm reaching my heel to my butt. So we're gonna exhale, press out like a little high heel, heel to glute. Bend to come back in, keep that heel, exhale out. Inhale back. That heel should activate that glute max a little more. Quads, glutes, hamstrings. It's an exhale to push. And inhale again as we resist those springs to come all the way back in. Push out and resist back in. 4 more. 2 and 1. Okay, then once we come back in, we're gonna pause in. We're gonna do the same thing on the left. So that left heel is gonna go onto the foot bar. Again, toes are pointed down towards the floor. Shoulders, hips parallel to the floor. Off of your wrists if you need to get off of them. Exhale, push out with that left heel. Inhale back, exhale out. Inhale back, squeeze your butts when you push away. So if you only feel it in your leg, I need you to squeeze your glute. Again, think right where your butt connects to your leg. Press out, squeeze your butts. Resist those springs, come back in, scoop into your core. Lengthen through the crown of your head. We're gonna go for 4 more here on the heel. And then last one. Okay, then once we come back in, we're gonna pause in. We go arch of our foot onto the foot bar. We again are going to exhale to push out with that arch. Inhale, bend to come back in. Exhale, push out with the arch. Inhale, resist those springs as we come all the way back in. Quads, glutes, hamstrings. Change those springs if you need to. You can always make them lighter or heavier. Again, I'm on 2 heavy springs today. You can go heavier than that. You can go lighter than that if you'd like to. Let's do 3 more on the arch. Toes are still pointed down to the floor, knees pointed straight down to the floor. And then when we come in from that last one, we're gonna pause. Toes, balls of our feet go on. Last thing on that left leg, lift the heel again. We exhale to push out with that nice high heel. We inhale, we come back. We exhale to push. We inhale, we resist back in. Nice high heel. Abs, again, are in. Push out, resist. Out, resist. Three more. And 1. Okay, once we come back in, we're gonna pause and we're just gonna sit off to the sides. Now, we're gonna go to 1 heavy spring. That is it. And then we're gonna go ahead, stand on our reformers and face our foot bars when we get onto that 1 heavy spring. I'm gonna set my left foot on the wooden platform and I'm gonna set my right foot back to the shoulder block. Now, if you have shorter legs and you need to step your foot a little further forward, you can go ahead and do so. Or if you have like a yoga block, you can always put a yoga block against the shoulder block if it's too far away. We're gonna stand up, find our balance. If you don't feel comfortable, say holding onto the foot bar, I'm gonna take my hands to my hips. You can have them wherever. I'm gonna bend my left knee to push the carriage out, and I'm gonna press into my left foot to come up. I'm gonna bend the left knee to sink into a lunge, push into the left heel to come up. My right leg just stays in the same spot the entire time. Inhale, bend, exhale to push. Then dig your heel down to come all the way up for those lunges. Inhale, bend, exhale, back up. Let's do about 5 more here. And on the last one, we're gonna hold out for 3, 2, okay, again, on this last one, we hold the carriage out. This time, carriage stays still. I'm gonna bend my right knee like I'm just gonna set it down onto the carriage without it moving. I'm gonna extend my right leg long. So I'm gonna bend my right knee, carriage stays still, extend it long. My left leg barely moves. It's just bending slightly and extending slightly with that right leg. And every time I extend my right leg, I'm squeezing my butt. Bend, extend, bend, extend. Keep that carriage still. 4, 3, 2, on 1, actually set your knee down, take your hands onto the foot bar and stretch out with both legs. Inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth here. Okay, we bring the carriage all the way back in. We can go ahead, step up onto our carriages. Our right foot now goes onto the platform, and then our left foot goes back to that shoulder block. Again, if you have a yoga block, you can put it there. If you don't feel comfortable, keep your hands on the foot bar for balance. If you feel comfortable, take your hands off. One side is always a little more challenging than the other for balance. We bend our right knee to sink into that lunge. We press into the right foot to come back up. We inhale, we bend, and we exhale again to press, bend, and press. My left leg is staying again in the same spot the entire time. Inhale, bend, and exhale as we push, stand up. Find that balance with that right side. 4 more. 2. Okay, on this last one, we hold that lunge, carriage stays still. We bend our left leg, we squeeze the glute to extend. We bend, we squeeze to extend. Right leg barely moves when we bend and extend. The carriage is trying to stay nice and still. Inhale, bend, squeeze your butt to extend. Hands wherever they feel comfortable. 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, and then we can come down. Okay, stretch out the right leg, stretch out your left, hold that hamstring quad stretch. Again, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Okay, bring that carriage all the way back in. Add on 1 light spring with your existing heavy. Now when you add on that right spring, I'm gonna take my left foot back onto the wooden platform. I'm gonna stand up on my carriage, step my right foot just a few inches away from the edge of my carriage, rotate to the right side of the room. Take a look at your feet. Make sure that they're even and parallel. Toes are pointed straight forward. We're gonna bend our knees, sink into a squat, hold. We're gonna push the carriage out about a foot or so with both legs, and we're gonna stay here. Now the left leg doesn't move. The right leg is gonna push out and in, out and in. Hold your squats. Abs are in neutral spine. We're hinging slightly forward with our backs. Just the right leg goes out and in, out, in. Left leg stays in that same spot. Feel those abductors. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way in, stand up. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. If you feel comfortable staying up and just rotating to the other side, you can. We're gonna step again. My left foot now is just a few inches away from the edge. Toes are pointed forward, even parallel. Sink into your squat. Push out about a foot or so with both legs. Hold. Left leg goes out, in, again. Right leg stays in the same spot the entire time. Exhale to push, inhale back, getting right into those abductors. Push, resist, push, resist. Hold those squats. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stand up. Okay, we can step off of our reformers. We're staying on this 1 heavy, 1 light spring. We're lying back down onto our carriages. Now, if you want your headrests up, they can be up or down. We're just gonna stretch. Grab the right strap. It goes onto the arch of your foot. We're gonna pull it, stretch. Left leg can be wherever it feels comfortable. Can go on the floor, can be on the wooden platform, can be on the foot bar, can be long bent, up to you. The long loop is just on your right foot, and we're giving that hamstring a stretch. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, then we're gonna let our leg open out to the side. Those adductors, a nice stretch. Again, left foot wherever. Feel free to hang on to your shoulder blocks if you don't want to fall off of your reformers. Then we're going to take that leg across the body. The leg can be long or bent, that's up to you. I like a bent knee. I feel like I can get a little more into my piriformis here. And then you can either like pull the strap down to the floor, you can press your leg down, whatever feels good to stretch out the outside of your glute and your leg. And I always let my hip come up for this one, just to get deeper. Okay, we're gonna take that strap off of our foot, and we're just gonna do the same thing on the left side. So a long loop on your foot, leg goes straight up, hamstring stretch. Right leg, wherever, it can be on the floor, the wooden platform, or the foot bar. Pull that strap, stretch. Okay, then we're gonna open our leg out to the side, give those adductors a stretch. Again, feel free to hang on to the shoulder block if that feels good, just to help you so you don't feel like you're gonna fall off. Okay, then we're going across the body, long leg, bent knee, that's up to you. And then you can press the leg down, you can press the strap down, whatever feels good to stretch out the outside of your glute and your leg. And I have my left hip fully off the carriage here. Breathe in through the nose, out through your mouth. Okay, then we can let that leg go back up. We're gonna take our strap off of our foot, and then we'll just hang it up onto the peg. We can sit ourselves off to the sides. You are all finished with that lower body workout. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today.